Hey, man. Yeah, that's funny. I was just sitting here just like you. I so rarely end up watching streams just because I'm always doing them myself. And it's kind of fun. Just sit here and like I'm working on my own stuff. And then to see Chuck working on my stuff as well. It was kind of fun just to sit here and just draw. Getting a brand new kneaded eraser. Oh yeah, that's right. Stiff and rubbery. Fresh need. That's funny. Yeah. It's just I don't understand how these kneaded erasers work. It's like I rub them over all my pencils here and pick up all the lead or color or whatever, and then you just kind of keep pulling it apart and re-squishing it. And it's like, well, where does all that stuff go? Does it just hold on to it forever? Because they kind of last forever. But I don't know. These kneaded erasers are kind of weird little inventions. Yeah, and that's kind of why I tossed that other one. It wasn't bad. I've had kneaded erasers that were way worse than that one, but I'm like, they're so cheap. Why am I sitting here farting around with it anyway? And I've got like 2 or 3 packages of brand new ones I've just stocked up on, just sitting here. I'm like, just throw away your old one and get out a new one. Like, don't fight your tools, especially when they're cheap. What's up, Patrick? Just got done watching Chuck Gibson's live stream where he was inking some of my pages, so that was kind of fun for me. Got to watch him do it and chat with them. I haven't farted around with charcoal in a long time. I see some people do some of the most amazing stuff with charcoal, and it's like the most basic art tool, isn't it? Just black chalk. I mean, it's not chalk, but you know what I mean. And one of the most old school mediums in the world. But yeah, I think I could probably be okay with it if I bothered and cared to spend time learning how to fart around with it. But I also didn't like the messy aspect of it. thanks, Kazuki Kari Animations. How's it going? Also, Josu Leonore, how you doing? Everyone who's watching. Conte crayons. That's another one I've never really tried. Like I've held them and I've kind of scribbled them on paper, but I never really tried to learn how to use it. Oh God. There.
Have fun drawing.
Yeah. Alucard, you're saying, how do you call in English this first drawing? I call it, I don't know, the layouts, where you're just figuring out the storytelling. If that's maybe what you're thinking of. Yeah, I don't know what else I would refer to it as. Yeah, just the layouts, just to figure out, because I've done it in a small scale. Like I've got it done small here on rough paper. I do it in pen, figure out all my pages this way. So then when I go to the final page, I've got it mostly figured out, so then I can just do the actual drawing. So yeah, I think of it in my head, I write it down, then I take what I've written, thumbnail it out here, and then go to the final page. Alucard, if are you asking how long does it take me to draw a page? Is that the question? I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're asking me. No, you're fine, Alucard. I'm not worried about it. I just want to make sure, like I said, I'm understanding what you're asking. It depends on the page and the complexity, but I could usually get one done in a day, maybe say 5, 6, 7 hours. But I tend to, work on these things over a couple of days. But if I was just doing nothing but this, I could definitely get a page a day, done, no problem. But like I said, it also depends on the complexity of the page, like how many characters and what's going on. Oh, Gayton, I mean, for anybody who wants to see, but I was going to show you that the drawing that I just finished while listening to Chuck. It's the one that I was doing right there. Oh, there's Chuck right there, speaking of. Yeah, Chuck, this is the one that I was inking while listening to you. I finished up this thing. Basically the hair and the backgrounds, and then just some kind of refining of the scarry stuff. And then, as is important, the signature that says Rob Norton after Silvestri, because I'm not hiding that this is a direct, direct swipe of a image he did, like exactly. But I'm gonna pay to get this colored up, and I already had a cover worked out for my book, but I don't know. I might have this be the cover to the book. If not the cover, definitely the back cover. I got to make some decisions. I got some choices to make. Well, I've already got a cover that I had a cover that I've already drawn months ago. I think before you and I started talking seriously. There is part of me that's been kind of challenging myself of whether or not I want to keep it. I'm trying to find it. Where the hell? Oh, son of a bitch. I know it's sitting around here. It's an homage to the. I'm pretty sure I've probably shown you, Chuck. It's an homage to one of these classic X-Men covers. I just kind of redrew it with my own characters on there, and I did it forever ago. It's like I might have actually drawn the cover before I started any of the pages. God damn it, I don't know where it's at. Anyway. But yeah, and then this was just like an inspiration thing I had just in the last day or two. I just thought of it, and I'm like, oh, because She-Ra got half her body fried. So I just started doing this, thinking it could be like a pinup inside it, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. There is going to be a whole 2-page spread dedicated to you in the back of the book, Chuck, for sure. Where I'm going to talk about what it was like running into you, put up that first image that you inked for me, and then bits and pieces of some pages with your name right across the top. I've got a buddy of mine who's going to help me kind of work out the format and layout to it because he's good at that stuff and I'm not. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it a lot, a lot, a lot. It sounds quite. You mean it sounds quiet? Is that what you're... Like, I don't have any music blasting this time. If that's kind of what you're referring to. Excuse me. I don't know. I was listening to Chuck's live stream and excuse me, and just didn't have any music playing then. I just haven't turned anything on. You're like, something's off. There's no music in the background.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Oh, excuse my coughing. Oh my God. Understood. Someone saying understood. God damn it.
The quality of program products will make you feel like you're winning.
They're trying to make this Ray thing happen. Yeah, Star Wars is so dead. Chad, it's 8:50 where I'm at. I'm in Utah. Alucard, there's a British BD illustrator, 1950, 1985, called Robert Norton. Well, there you go. Guess it's a good name. Yeah, someone's saying, yeah, I know. After this Acolyte thing, and I saw that clip of the chicks all standing around going, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. I'm like, oh, I am so fucking out. I am gonzo. Chad, right? And that audience score keeps going lower and lower. What was it at? 13% or something? But all these articles keep trying to spin it like it's actually a good thing. It's not as bad as some people want you to think. It's just a few people review bombing it. I'm like, come on, guys. Just stop. I've got one of my best friends from high school, and he just loves Star Wars, and him and I can't seem to agree. Like, I'm just like, Star Wars is over, man. It's done. It's not, there's nothing charming about it anymore. It's like, he's like, I don't know, man. Just don't be so harsh to judge. I mean, you know, I'm like, dude, you're trying so hard to hold on to it. I get it. It's like the most significant thing in your childhood. I get it, but good Lord. Oh, okay. Alucard. Bandai des. I'm not. I shouldn't even try and pronounce that if that's French. I keep trying to find a American comic book that's only made in or was only released in France. The black and white artist edition of the Mark Silvestri Batman Joker Deadly Duo. That pisses me off so much that they made it, and then it's like it wasn't announced anywhere that I ever saw. You'd think Silvestri himself would be like hyping that thing up. I want that thing so bad, but I can't seem to find it available anywhere. I was looking on like French Amazon today because that's where somebody said they got it at. And, ugh. Anime videos? No, I'm not drawing cats. I'm drawing my comic book, but thanks. And Chad, yeah, I mean, I just kind of, I look at the original Star Wars and just try to remember the magic that they had. It was so great. It was so fun. And then the prequels, you know, they've got their moments. But overall, it's just like, it's over. It's done. I enjoyed Mandalorian for a good stretch. Seasons 1 and 2. I never even watched 3. Yeah, I like that, Gaten. You accepted the prequels. You humored the sequels. I just remember hearing someone saying that that there's just not much you can do with Star Wars. It's just the same shit over and over and over. It's all Force stuff and Skywalker stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of limited. And everyone feels like, no, Star Wars is so expansive, you can go anywhere, and maybe, but I'm not interested. I'm just. It was magical when it was like this little series of films that let you fill in the gaps with the toys and watch the movies over and over. Yeah. Yeah, Chad, and that's the thing about the prequels. As much as, you know, we can have problems with them, and we do, at least it had a single unifying creative vision behind it that made them all feel kind of linear. As opposed to the sequels where JJ just makes one and then he bounces. He's like, I was only ever going to make the one. So they hire that idiot, Ryan Johnson. And he's like, oh, I'm going to undo everything and do something different and wild and weird. So now it's not cohesive. It doesn't make any sense. So then they bring back JJ. And they're like, hey, try to make sense of the clusterfuck that's going on here. Try to salvage this. And they just made it worse. It's just all garbage. You know, I was even watching this clip on YouTube the other day where I had that scene in Return of the Jedi, with the original, in Jabba's palace, the music scene. Was it Sai Snoodles or whatever? And then they redid that whole special edition with that fucking dumb, retarded ass, like, pop song that's just so bad. And then I watched that original one with just the animatronic puppet, and I'm like, this is so much better. This is so much better. I can't believe that George Lucas did that. But I would take him back any day over any of this other crap. Han shot first. Well, it's more like Han is the only one that shot, period. It's not shot first. The original movie, there was no second shot. He just pulled his gun, knew that this guy was a bounty hunter, and he's just like, it's completely in character for Han Solo. And I think George Lucas was saying, Well, I wanted Han to like not be so heartless and like have the guy shoot at him first, so when he fires back, it's not so cold blooded. I'm like, the man had a gun to his face. Um, and like they said in what was it, Roadhouse? When a man puts a gun in your face, you can do two things: you could die or you could kill the motherfucker. That's what Han Solo did, man. That's just it was completely in character for Han Solo to do what he did. And it made him badass, and we all loved him for it. We didn't care about this, like, walking aardvark or whatever the hell he was, getting a hole blown through him.
Ships on rigor of the waves are skimming barren summits to the verdant plains. Each horizon is a new beginning.
Yeah, see someone saying the Han Greedo scene in that musical. I didn't mind, honestly, like when they extended the backgrounds and had ships flying there, or in Empire Strikes Back when they're in the Cloud City and instead of a wall, there's a window with expanded backgrounds. I'm kind of fine with all that. The most stupid is like at the first Star Wars in the special editions when yeah, right, someone's saying, who wants to see down the throat of that, but where Luke and Obi-Wan and the droids are rolling into Mos Eisley, and so they have all these other characters floating around now. That's all kind of fine, but there's a couple of scenes where like here's the shot of our characters, and then they just pass in front of the camera, like my hand here, a giant fucking lizard dinosaur that just hides everything and then pulls out of the way. It's so bad. The editing is so ridiculous. It just drives me nuts. Yeah, you have the original theatrical releases on DVD. It's insulting that they won't release those. I would buy those in an instant. They were just fine, and they were perfect with all their imperfections and everything. It's like they don't need to be redone. But if you're gonna do it, all right, clean it up, make the sound mix better for better, sound systems in theaters. Add some spaceships in the background, but be done. Just be done. So as much as we're all a fan of George Lucas, but he really fucked up those re-releases. Hey, Grant. Yeah, and even adding like the beak thing to the Sarlacc pit, completely unnecessary. Yeah, did it give it more life? I guess, but it's not like we were all watching these shows going, it's almost there, George. You just missed the mark just a little bit. It's like we were like in love with these things. They're so good. So, yeah. Oh, Grant, your Kickstarter's gone. All right, man. Email me a link, man, and I'll post it up on my YouTube. I need reminder help. The power of one, the power of two, The power of many. We were all wrong. The acolyte is genius. And you're a racist, misogynist, sexist if you hate it. Guilty, right? Me too. It's the only reason that it could be bad is because we're just hateful guys that won't accept it. It's like, I could not care less who made it. I couldn't care less about the gender or race of the characters. Just make it interesting and good. Don't leave your activism out and stop shitting on the established lore. And it's so simple to just do these things. Nope. All right, Patrick. Catch you later. Hey, the Luna artist. Yeah, Chad, did any of us stop playing Metroid? It's like, we all love it. Just, if it's good, we don't care. It doesn't matter. Well, thanks, the Loon artist. No idea who anyone is or what's going on, but this looks sick already. Well, thanks. Might as well tell everybody. I seem to have to do this once or twice every live stream. It's just it's a Masters of the Universe fan comic that I'm working on. It's just a passion project I've been doing for years, and I'm getting real close to finishing it. I'm right at the climax of these scenes, and drawing one female character having another female character in like a headlock. You're actually going to snap her neck, so it's a little tricky intertwining these figures and the arms and everything like that. It's kind of tricky. Alan Whittington, you say, make it look so effortless. Thank you. What's going on, Michael? For anybody who's new and just joined. Oh, damn, Michael, thank you. Thank you so much. God. It's like I don't know what to say anytime anybody does that. It's just beyond generous that I can't even begin to explain it. But yeah, like this is a potential front cover or back cover to the book. I just finished inking this while listening to another live stream. Grant, what's your goal? What's your minimum goal you're trying to reach on your thing? You should, the Loon Artist, if I'm saying that right. What kind of stuff do you do? Yeah, Sebastian, I can't decide. My original thought was to make it a back cover, but I might want it to be the front cover. I'm not sure, but I might actually stick to back cover. And I already had a front cover done, but I've actually got reason to like maybe try to come up with a different front cover. What kind of stuff do you do, the Loon Artist? I put up a link on my my YouTube page here, by the way, for anybody interested. There's a Discord server that we got where there's about 52, 53 of us. Anybody that's in here that does art, it's open to anybody. I put up a link, I think just today or yesterday. It should still be active. Or Gayton, someone's saying here, you could put up another one if we need. But our Discord server is a bunch of fun people getting together, talking about art and sharing work, and it's kind of inspiring and fun. Hey, thanks, someone saying you're the best moderator ever. I'd give you a pay increase if I was paying you at all.
Time to help people customize and save with limited neutral. Wallet.
You said you have a sort of small slice of life comic you're currently working on. You did end up publishing a zine of the first comic about 6 months ago. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Like, I'm all about, like, share the stuff. Let's see it. What does everyone got? All right, no problem, man. Yeah, I just like to make sure it's out there for anybody that wants to see it. There's a nice, good group of people over there, and no weirdos, and everyone chats and gets along and shares work, and it's fun. I'd look at your stuff if I could. I'll have to see if I can't follow up with you, the Loon Artist, after the stream here, so I can see what my man's talking about.
Goes like one margarita, two margarita, three margarita shot. I close my eyes, only for a moment,
And the shit.
all my dreams pass before my eyes. A curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, all we refuse to see. Dust in the wind, all we are is dust in the wind.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. My music tastes vary wildly depending on the night. I get made fun of a lot. Like, man, your shit, you're all over the place. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. Oh, thanks, Gaten. Yeah. I don't know if he bounced out or whatever, but I was just curious as to. Yeah. Well, I hope he makes it, and I'll try to link his Kickstarter on my page here just to help put some eyes towards it. Loon artist, you Pink Floyd 1 second, God knows what the next. Yeah, that's me, man. It's yeah, okay, yeah. I hope he is. I mean, you know, I got plans to do a crowdfunder at some point in the next year, maybe, depending on what goes on, but give me more time to keep building up the channel. I know I can't imagine like the stress of like having a goal to make a thing and then like, oh God, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? I don't know. John Sai Muhammad, Jesus, you're old. Stop listening to Mozart and looking at comics from 1934. Very insightful. Thank you. I appreciate your wisdom. Thank you. Panda, what's up, dude? Yeah, it's okay, Grant. Yeah, I know how it is to get distracted. I was just curious what your goal was. You know, you said you're at 750 in 2 hours or so. That's something. I mean, you know, approaching $1,000, like almost a third of the way there in just a couple hours. That's awesome. Yeah. Big collection. Yeah. I kept thinking about like if there's some way to like do a crowdfunder to afford to take this fan comic of mine and like get it colored, but I don't know, you know, because I don't own it. It's a Masters of the Universe fan comic, but I've seen people do. I saw a Kickstarter for a Masters of the Universe fan film that was just awful, but they were able to do that, and I was like, well, what's the boundaries on that? Like, it'd be kind of fun to get a few bucks to be able to afford to kind of print this up, and it would have to be a lot of money to get somebody to color how many pages I've got on this thing. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I don't like Webtoon. If you're talking about that, the actual Webtoon, I tried. My actual first 24 pages of this thing is on Webtoons. I didn't like it. I don't like the format. I don't like the way it. I'm not a fan of Webtoon, so I put it up there and was done almost immediately. But I would like, you know, I would like to have a place to put this online somewhere. Yeah, that's me, Grant. I don't like reading comics digitally. I actually really, it kind of ruins it for me in a way. I do not like it. So, but it would be nice to make it available so people could see it. But, you know, you reach behind me. Ugh. There actually is a reason why I have 5 volumes of this thing. Grant, I've thought about it. It's another thing where I'm like asking people to pay me to see this stuff. I don't know. And I know it's voluntary, so I shouldn't care, but, you know, let people do it voluntarily if they want. back cover to book 5. Back cover to book 4. Oh yeah, Grant, totally. I saw somebody do, from the Transformers animated movie, they had like Galvatron and Cyclonus and what is it? What's the sweeps leader? Anyway, the Galvatron and Cyclonus and the sweeps, and then I had like Unicron's face in the background. And I'm like, that looks really cool. So I thought about having this group of characters, this team of mine, to do a homage to that same pose. So good eye for seeing that. Ugh. What's up, Mark? John Sai Muhammad. I understand I've got a lot of stuff on my channel, so it's kind of hard to see, but I have reviewed very current stuff. Modern, popular Marvel and DC comics are almost exclusively garbage. They're not good anymore. And that makes me sound like an old man, and that's just fine. But I do find stuff that's current, and I do show it. I do love a good comic book movie. I was there for all the Marvel, MCU, cinematic universe stuff while it was good. So yeah, I like that stuff. I am 47. I've been into this stuff for a long ass time. Kevin B. Hall, what's up? I've heard the new Ultimate Spider-Man is good. I watched somebody do a review of it, and it actually sounded really interesting. But another problem is that my local comic shop can't seem to put anything in my holds anymore, so I just kind of find my comics elsewhere. Yeah, the Spider-Verse movies were fantastic. They made really good movies for sure. Chad, 77, January 6th of 77. Grant, you're fading. Yeah. modern Marvel in DC. It's just, I don't know what they should do to make it interesting, but I miss the era when there was an artist that everyone died to get. You never remember that shit when there was like that amazing artist that's drawn this and it's a magical run and everyone was just gaga over it. And I mean, you could certainly point to certain people doing certain things for sure. It's just not the same. I don't know. I don't know what's changed. Just everyone's moved on to like other media and just comics just don't interest people. At least American comics don't. Manga, as far as I understand, is just tearing up the American comic market. I don't know, Grant. I still find stuff that I get excited about in terms of stuff I've never seen before. That's one of the things about this channel is like I just reviewed Ghost, that Adam Hughes comic from like 95 or 4. I thought it was actually really good, and I've never read it before. I just think our tastes change. We matured. We don't want childlike shit, but I don't know. It's a good question, but it's frustrating. Chad, August 23rd of 77? Awesome. So your birthday's coming up soon. That makes sense. They could, it's a good point, Chad. When was the last big musical movement? Like a genre or a style or even like a band? Like a... Yeah, me and Chad are the same age. Grunge, right? Yeah. But that's part of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And, you know, it's a passion project. It's like, I want to make the thing I want to see. So that's part of why I'm doing a fan comic that I can never really truly own. I want to make the thing that I'm not seeing anywhere else. Yeah, Taylor Swift is definitely a thing. That's fine. But beyond her, remember when like Madonna and Michael Jackson were like the biggest stars on the planet? Yeah, the Loon Artist, you're right. I do wonder, though, how much you say of it is up to the shifted media. You rarely hear about Marvel's new comics. It's all movies and digital. Yeah. No one talks about the comics anymore. Everyone knows they exist. I just think comics just used to have they were a cheap form of easy entertainment that kids aren't interested in anymore. So, do kids even buy comics? You know? Kids don't. It's us old farts that like the comics. So what happens when we age out? Or die? You think Lobo, if Lobo did a movie, this should be a song in it? That's funny. Dow says manga has one writer instead of a revolving door of hacks. That's a solid point. Solid point. And someone saying you make a good point. You get a big complete story in one volume, right? That's a good point. All good points, everybody. Yeah, I agree with the Loon Artist. It's quite popular. Yeah. It's not my favorite thing, but there's parts of it that I do like, but kids seem to love it. Mark, you buy comics for your family every Christmas. You're like, this is what you're getting. Read it. Trust us, it's good. I've been saying for a while, I think the future of American comics is just like independent crowdfunding stuff. You know? Just people make it. You don't have to go through Marvel anymore. As much as I love Wolverine and Spider-Man, I feel like corporate heroes are kind of limited because they can never change. They have to stay the same character essentially. So you kind of age out of the interest. But just people doing their own stuff, you know, something unique, something different, and you feel better about supporting. You know, the guy doing his own Kickstarter with some unique style. You didn't have to watch him draw Spider-Man first before he got to do his own thing. So, I don't know. I think crowdfunding and kind of independent guys like Isaac Bell is a perfect example. That guy, he makes mad bank on his Kickstarters, and he's just doing his own comics, his own books. Yeah, I disagree with you, John Sai Muhammad. When you see what some of these independent guys do on Kickstarters, like Isaac Bell, he made $70,000 on his fourth Kickstarter. And he's making a living doing it on his own. I just don't think people care about Marvel or DC comics anymore. They like the characters in the movies and video games, but no one's buying the comics. Like, sales are terrible. But people are throwing their money at independent crowdfunding creators. Yeah, Mark, I agree. Alan Moore, that guy's so damn good, so creative. Might be a little weird, but that's fine. Can be weird all day. Someone's saying Invincible is fantastic. It's legitimately, I read every issue. I was on board with the thing entirely, its whole run. And I think the animated show is so good because it follows, it follows the comic series like so precisely. Yeah, John, I don't think that's going to happen. They've been trying to do it for years, and they've been failing over and over. I would like it to be the case. But comics are just, like modern corporate comics, it's always like an event. It's this big event, a big event. This big crossover, this big team with this writer and artist. They're going to do a 4-issue limited series. Remember when comics, they just made them and they just pumped them out and let the writer write it for years and let the artist work on it? You got a run of like 10 years of just consistency, and it was just like cheap, fun entertainment that you could follow these characters. Mark, I don't know about that. I will be curious to see what that new Joker movie does. I do not think that is going to be a $1 billion movie. Could be wrong. I don't know, but I know the Lunar. It's like I do get that, but I think with everything being a big event thing to make the money, like you're saying, it makes it so unappealing to me. Like, I just want to pick up a comic and just read, Not like, I got to get this big thing and it's world-ending stakes and it's like a movie in comic form. Just write a good issue of Captain America and just let a writer just go crazy. You know what, Chad? I've brought that up before, and as my understanding is, newsprint is not cheap. You'd think it would be, but I know guys that have actively tried to find a place to get their comics printed in newsprint, and there's nowhere that makes it cheaper than the stuff that's just available regular. Yeah, see, Grant's saying right there, newsprint isn't a... You'd think it should be, but it's not.
Great auto coverage. That's nice. It's a good one. Is it allstate.com?
Antoine Dennison, how are you doing? John Sai, I will never do digital artwork. It is not more efficient, in my opinion. I like to have physical copies. I like to put pencil on paper. I will never do digital. I'm one of these guys keeping old school methods alive. I will always draw on paper with pencil and ink. Digital sucks for me. I have no interest in drawing digitally ever. I know some guys that did a big Kickstarter for their the Ghost Agents book that I did a review on. They printed it in like treasury format. I think it's the size, this big size. And the best price they could find for newsprint was like overseas in China. Yeah, these guys, they had to go to China to find the best price for printing on newsprint. And man, was it beautiful. I've got, God, where the hell did I put those? Like this book right here, right? We should start a newsprint. They printed this thing on newsprint, and it looks so damn good. I love this thing so much. This old school newsprint. It's got the smell to it, and the way that the colors reproduce on this newsprint. I just love it so much. Yeah. And it's like, there's for size comparison, the regular comic, and then this thing, so what is that, treasury format size, something like that. But, and it's a big, thick book, you know. But like these colors on here, printed on this newsprint, make sure I get it fully in frame here. And I've got a story in this. I was lucky enough. They had me draw a 6-page story and had someone else color it. And the way that it just come out on this newsprint, like I'll never see my work in color on newsprint again. I can't imagine. Yeah, but see, John, this is the thing. Like newsprint gives it a unique look that nothing else does. So you could say the quality's not as good, but it depends on what you mean by quality. Like you heard just the loon artist say, like, it looks gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not this shiny, glossy paper, but this newsprint gives it a unique kind of look that I can't explain, but it's a unique thing that stands out on its own. Like these are my pages here. And it's just fantastic. Yeah, I love how they did like blue and yellow tones and that's it. They use different levels on it. The guy who did the coloring on this, I never saw what the color looked like until I flipped open the book. The guys were like, we never sent you proof copies of what the pages were going to look like. I'm like, no. Like this moon in the background. Let me see if I can't bring it up to the camera a little closer. You know. Yeah, it's got this old newspaper feel, and it's a specific, unique thing that, yeah. Gives it that old style comic strip texturing, absolutely. The feel of that must be amazing. I honestly prefer that to gloss. It's the same. It's like that's what I feel. Grant, I've got they paid me a page rate for my book, but then also in exchange for page rate, they sent me. I have 10 copies that for me to sell. I could also direct you to the website where these guys are. You could buy one from them or buy them from me, but they're like $40. Look at this thing right there. It looks so cool. There's a lot of this stuff right here. This guy's art and then this coloring on it. Shit. I love this stuff. These guys did so good on this. There's this story in here where this girl, she's chilling out on her own and she drops some acid, but just when she does it and starts getting hit with the effects, she gets attacked by some bad guys. So the entire comic is drawn as this acid trip where she's fighting these ungodly monsters just because of her perceptions of being high. I can't believe that these guys come up with this weird psychedelic way of illustrating this book. I would never in a million years conceive of this. So like it just feels like an acid trip. Not that I've ever done it. How the fuck would I know? But this distorted reality. And when she finally comes back to reality, she's just slaughtered all these soldiers that came in after her. Yeah, like an episode of Batman versus Scarecrow. Yeah. So, yeah, these guys did some wild stuff. Some black and white. And just, again, this black and white on the newsprint. There's just something about it. And then also, the flip side, it's a flip book because this Metropolis went into the public domain. So they did like a comic in this thing. Like, look at this. Look at this old school Metropolis kind of thing that they did here with like the lighting effects. And then look at this giant city shot. It's just so crazy. There's a couple pages in here where the coloring. Yeah, I love this stuff right here. Yeah, the lunar. That's what I was saying. These guys, like, they put together. Like, I felt honored that they let me get in here, and I feel like my stuff is maybe amongst the weakest. And that's not me trying to be humble. I'm just like, these guys got imagination and techniques that I'm just like, where did you even come up with this? Love this shot right there. And again, these colors, like you can tell they're like computer coloring with like the fades and stuff, but printed on this newsprint, there's a texture to it. I don't know if it's coming through quite the same. So anyway, yeah, they did a hell of a cover. But I have copies of this. Not many. There's not many to get your hands on. But I do have like 9 copies left if anybody's interested. was fun to revisit that. Yeah, that whole backside was it was because Metropolis, like I was saying, went into the public domain, so they were able to do a comic on it. John, if you're asking me, do I use any reference or trace? I do not trace, but it's easy to find reference that you need. But pretty much everything I do, for the most part, is done mostly from my head. But it's just because I've been drawing long enough that I could kind of. I mean, I'm trying to do like classic artists of the guys that I grew up, loving. They just drew on a page and had to figure out the anatomy and composition on the paper. There's no like backspace or undo and re-edit and reshape. You got to figure it out. What you throw down on the page is what you got, and you're stuck with it, and you just move on. And it kind of forces you to learn fast, is my opinion on it. So that's what I'm doing. And this is one that I finished inking just earlier tonight. I've already showed it once or twice. No, you're all right, Chad. Yeah, I mentioned it. That's why they did it, Yeah, Grant, get back with me, man. We'll chit chat. John, my stuff is only black and white. I can't color, and I don't have the money to pay a colorist, and I don't have the money to pay to print up the books that I do at the size I do. My last book was 120 pages, so I can't afford to print a full color book. So it's all black and white. Wesley Glee said, yeah, the Silvestri homage. Yeah, that one was really fun to do. This, like, I'm straight up just taking his style and vibe and composition from a image that he actually drew, but instead of a man, I did a girl, and it might be a back cover to my book. We'll see. I am going to pay. I do pay to have colorists do the covers. I can afford to do that. Thanks, Kevin. I mean, I hope it's working because it's all I got. It's all, I can't make anything else happen, so it's what I do. I might need to be getting to bed myself. I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night, so I should probably get my ass to bed. Yeah, Walking Dead, black and white. Yeah, maybe sleep. Right. Yeah, and Walking Dead was great because they had a great writer. Yeah, yeah, I know. Don't die. It's bad for your health. You're very correct, sir. That Robert Kirkman on Walking Dead. Good writer. Yeah, Wesley, you're exactly right. Once you start going, it's like I want to keep going, especially if things are working well. And some things were kind of going sort of well, so I just kept going. But yeah, thanks, guys. I'm gonna shut it down. I appreciate everyone. Hit that like button, right? Someone's saying he's my hype man. I appreciate it. Cliff, just real quick, when do you decide what book you review in your morning comic review? You have one picked out now. Um, it, I try to vary it up. I try to make it, have a selection of different stuff, and it's just kind of whatever. I've got piles of books, and I'm just like, well, let's get an assortment of stuff. The one that I'm doing that's going up tomorrow. Well, I got two. I'll show them right here. How about an issue of Verotica with a girl's naked ass on the cover? And then this crappy Avenge Blade parody from Extreme Studios or Maximum Press. I recorded these tonight. This Verotica book sucks. I go into it quite a bit, but that's probably the one going up tonight or, loading up tonight for tomorrow. But it just depends on what I want to do, Yeah, the Loon Artist, thank you, man. Thanks for joining. Really appreciated the conversation we had and everyone going back and forth with you. Thank you. It was good to meet you. I do live streams almost every day. Always more of a cherry blossom. All right, guys. I'm going to run. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll catch you guys next time.